Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. It is Unit 6, which means we have only 3 weeks left of English 107. So I'm going to challenge those of you who may have fallen a little bit behind to catch up this week. It is still possible, but it is getting down to crunch time. So if you have questions about any of the previous assignments, remember that excuse me, all of the videos and the sample documents are still available in the announcements. All you have to do is scroll back. And of course, I'm happy to answer any additional questions. Shoot me an email, not a problem. If it's a question that's general, I would post it on the Ask the Instructor board so that other people might benefit from it as well. So let's take a look at what's happening this week. Awesome. All right. So the theme of the week is literacy. And specifically, when we think of the term literacy, of course, we think of reading and writing. Um, Literacy, in the sense that we're focused on this week, goes beyond just the ability to read and write, but the refers more to the ability to navigate what you read and write for quality and for completeness and all of those wonderful things. Digital literacy, information literacy is what we're really focused on this week. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So, as usual, early in the week, begin by accessing the readings and resources and make sure that you read everything and watch every video. Several folks have talked about how hard it is to find time to do that, and I 100% get it. But that's how we learn. So we have to take in new information in order to learn new things. And how we take in information typically is going to be through reading and viewing. So you will notice we always have a mix of reading and video in these online classes. Um, the third component that we sometimes do to learn new things is to interact with information. And that's what those interactive exercises are for. So by reading and viewing and doing, we learn new things, and then we can use that new information and use those new skills to complete assignments. So that's what we're focused on this week. We are going to be doing a what is called an annotated bibliography. And this annotated bibliography is going to be you interacting with the first three resources that are in the readings and resources this week. They are all focused on job skills and soft skills. Um, so you're going to read those three articles first, and you're going to come back to them several times because you're going to use them in the assignment this week. You're also going to use them in the assignment next week, at least one of them in the assignment next week. So please be sure that you go through each of these carefully. You will notice that, as usual, we do have the actual citations for you already provided, but when you open the documents, especially the ones that are from the library, you will be able to access the other kind of official APA citation. You are going to be citing your sources this week and next week, so it's very important that you start with a good reference entry. Now, you can use these references as they are. Now, you will not use a bullet, but you can use these in your as your citations. And we'll talk about what to do with those in a minute. You do have a chapter from our usual textbook. This one is called the Annotated Bibliography and Research Proposal. So you're going to learn about what it means to write an annotated bibliography. We also have some additional resources from, as you know, one of my favorite websites, Scribber, on writing in-text citations and reference entries, both of which we need. And then we have some information about information literacy. So the way that we access information has changed considerably in the past 20 years. Um, it is very rare now that we would access information in a real book, in a real library, um, or that we would find an article in a magazine that is printed out and that we have seen on a shelf somewhere. Almost all of the information that we now consume comes to us through the internet. But there is a lot of different levels of information on available on the internet. You have information that is solid, hardcore researched information. You also have stuff that people just make up. You also have stuff that is, I mean, it's good information, but it's coming from a source that is, this person is not um, a true expert on that topic. They might just be sharing information that they've found. Doesn't mean the information is bad, but if we are going to be good stewards of information, and that's what we're asked to be when we are doing academic writing, we have to be accessing the best kinds of sources. And how we do that is typically through library research, but we do that library research without ever stepping foot inside a library now, most of the time. We instead are accessing it in a web browser, just like we would if we were Googling something. So that's where a lot of the confusion comes in about, well, why do I have to use the library? Why can't I just Google it? Or why is this website more reputable than this website? So that's what we're focused on this week. And that's what you're going to be thinking about. Now, there's a test that we use called the crap test. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the term, but it is a really good test for evaluating information that we have found online specifically. But really, even information that you find in a reputable newspaper or a reputable journal still needs to be evaluated to make sure that it is good information. So you're going to be applying the crap test to the three articles that you are going to be analyzing for the annotated bibliography this week. So view that video. It's going to kind of walk you through it. Finally, we have a video specifically on accessing the library. Now, you've been accessing the library all term because every time you click on a link like this, it takes you to the library. So we have already been accessing library sources, but that video will also show you how you can use it for your own research. So most of the sources that we use in ENG107 are provided for you. You don't have to go find a source. We did back in Unit 2, but most of the time when you write papers for other classes, you will be finding your sources. And so even though you know how to access the library, it is also important that you know how to utilize the library to search for good, solid information. So take a moment, do the readings and resources, and then you can tackle the week's assignments. So let's take a look. We do have an interactive, and this, of course, is going to help you with that citation piece. Citing sources is probably one of the hardest things that we do in college writing because it doesn't necessarily come naturally to people. We know we have to do it, but we don't know how. And so learning that skill is going to carry you a long way in your college writing experience. So make sure you do the interactive exercise. Next, we're going to be looking, of course, at a discussion board. As the videos in this week's readings and resources explain, we live in a world filled with media and technology. So the discussion board does not deal with the soft skills piece. That is something we're going to deal with in the writing assignment. For the discussion board, we're focused more on the media, digital literacy, all of that kind of stuff. And there's a quote from the New York Times in 1983. I cannot even fathom how long ago that was now, but way back in 1983, Daniel J. Burston said, technology is so much fun, but we can drown in our technology. The fog of information can drive out knowledge. So that's what you're going to focus on in your discussion board. Is he right? Is he still right, even though it's been plus 40 years? Um, and as part of that, explain how you use technology in your own life and how it should be used responsibly in an online classroom or anywhere. Um, it's very interesting to think that he said that so long ago because, I mean, I was there. We didn't have phones that had the internet. We didn't have like yes, technology was more about kind of fun and games, maybe. But now we rely on it for absolutely everything. So this is an interesting discussion board for, especially for those of us who are a little older, but to get some of the younger folks' perspective on it too, because you've always grown up around technology. It's really fascinating to me. So have some fun with it this week. Really dig into that idea. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it both? How? And how do you use it? And how do you make sure you're using it responsibly? And then we get to the quote unquote big assignment for the week, the annotated bibliography. So, first, we're going to look at the assignment sheet, of course, as we always do. This week, we learned about reliable sources and how to cite them in our writing. For this assignment, you will create an annotated bibliography for resources provided in this unit. You're going to review the three articles about soft skills, so the first three things under readings and resources. You're going to use the template. You absolutely need to use the template this week. So it's the same issue that comes up in Unit 4 with the vision board. If you don't use the template, you will forget something. I mean, you technically could just use a plain Word document, but if you don't use the template, you will forget something. So please, 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 please use the template. It has boxes for absolutely everything that you need, and therefore it reminds you what you need to do. Okay, so here's what you're going to include. You're going to have the title of the article. You're going to have a summary of the article, and you're going to have a full APA reference citation for each article. Now, the title is also in the citation. So, one of the biggest things that people lose points for on this is not following that direction, which is the title goes in one box, but the whole reference citation goes in another box. You will have the title in two places, but that's okay. Go ahead and put it in two places. The full citation will have more than just the title, but there is a box where you will put the title specifically. So please, please, please use the template. It will help guide you through what you need to do. In each of the summaries, so you're going to have three summaries total. The summaries will be 3 to 5 sentences that explain the main idea and the most important parts of the article. You do not need 3 paragraphs for each of the 3 articles. You will have a total of 3 summary paragraphs. You will also go through the CRAP test, currency, reliability, authority, and purpose, and choose whether or not the particular source is reliable. That's a simple yes or no question, but you do want to go through the CRAP test with the article before you determine yes or no, and you'll fill that in. And again, it's in the template, so if you don't use the template, you will forget it. Just please, please, please listen to me and take all of my considerable experience teaching this class as good help. All right, so you will have a Word document. You will not have a cover page. You will not have a reference page. The template is set up as a basically it's a table, and you're going to fill in the pieces where they go, and then you're going to submit it. Okay. If you include all the titles, you will get all the points. If you include all of the APA citations, you will get all of those points. If you have summaries for Articles 1, 2, and 3, and they are good summaries, you will have all of the points there. The CRAP test is worth 5 points, and it's really just a yes or no question. So there's no reason not to get all 5 of those points. And then, of course, the APA, it's not about the format in terms of having a cover page this time. It's just about making sure that you've polished your writing. So that's the assignment. And now let's take a look at the template. Okay, let me share the template. Okay. As you can see, it is a table, and that's what I mentioned earlier. It is literally a table. Now, here's the thing. I am going to give you a sample document. I'm going to save this right now as a new file for you. Oops, I can't spell today though. Okay. I am going to put the information in, but then I'm not going to save that information because part of your assignment is doing that work. So I'm going to show you though how to find the information and what to do with it. So as you can see in the first box, it says title, copy from readings and resources, and reliable, yes or no. So that's where you're going to put the title and you're going to complete the crap test and determine yes or no, this is a reliable source. In the second box, it says APA reference, copy from readings and resources. Now, the APA reference will be the whole thing, and the title will just be the title. So we're going to have some is going to be overlapping. Then you have the box for the annotation, which is the summary. Again, your summaries should be 3 to 5 sentences. They should give good detail on it. And that is what we're focused on. Okay, so let me go back to the readings and resources, and we're going to get the first article. Now, I've already opened that article in the library, so I'm actually going to use it from here because I'm going to pull the citation from the library, which of course means we need to go to the APA one and copy this reference. Okay. In the Word document, we're going to put the full citation here. Now I'm going to put match formatting so it'll keep the font and the italics and everything. But notice that I also need the title in the first box. So I'm going to take the title of the article and I'm going to put that right there. This is where I would determine yes or no. I'm going to assume, because it's a library article, but don't assume, do the crap test, that I'm going to put yes. And then below in the box, we're going to write our 3 to 5 sentence summary. Now, the way this is formatted, it does a weird thing where it only uses half of the thing. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter how long or short this document ends up being. It could be 9,000 pages by the time you get done with it. Nothing bad will happen to you. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's go to the second one. Let's go back to the readings and resources. And I am again going to pull it from the library instead of just copying and pasting from there. You can copy and paste from there. The only reason I don't like to do it is because it is a link. And so when you start messing with links, of course, sometimes you end up clicking on the link and it can be confusing. So here we're going to copy this one and we're going to put that in the full reference box first. We're going to just copy the title of the article and we're going to put that in the box for the title. We're going to put, after we've read it, we're going to do our crap test. And after we've read it, we're going to write our summary. Now, the last one is interesting because it is from the internet. It is not a library source, and you can certainly use this citation as is. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put that in the box for the references. Now, notice, oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, I can just take the thingy off. Okay, there we go. I also really don't want this to be a link. Now, if it is a link, not a big deal. It's also the title. So I'm going to copy that and put it over here. I'm going to put my crap test evaluation and I'm going to write my summary. Now, you will notice that if you do use the link, that if we do what we've been doing, which is go to Scribber, so that's what I'm going to do. Scribber is going to look, their citation for this is going to look a little bit different. So I don't care which one you use because I have been teaching you about Scribber and how to use it and all of those wonderful things. So if you, because this is on the internet, if you use the citation from Scribber, that's absolutely fine. It is different. It doesn't list the Department of Labor as the author the way that the one in the readings and resources does. Both are really fine. Both are acceptable. So whichever one you choose to use, that's absolutely fine. Let me show you what that will look like in here. Let's go, let's put both in here, which is a little weird. You don't need both of them, but just for, nope. It apparently did not copy. Let's do copy to clipboard. There we go. That should have it now. And I'm going to paste. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I have both of them. Um, oh, that's weird. I can't see the whole thing because it's, anyway. There it is. That's what it'll look like. The title is still the same, Soft Skills, the Competitive Edge. Okay. But that's what it will look like. This is what your document will look like. Again, I am not going to save this because doing it is the assignment. I am still going to give you the blank document like I always do. So if you want to use my document instead of the one, directly from the template, that's fine. But it's up to you. I haven't really done anything to it. It's just a blank document. So, um, but that is your assignment for this week. Please do reach out if you have questions. Um, and otherwise, I will look forward to seeing your thoughts on technology on the discussion board, and we will have a great week 6. Everybody take care.